Okay, let's go ahead and take a minute and find our sit bones and drop nice and tall right through the center of your body. Finding that crown of your head. I always like to take a minute, close your eyes, and touch the top of your head just in the very center. And I use your middle finger and just gently touch the top so you can get a sense of energetically drawing up through the spine, anchoring in through the sit bones, and then allow that hand to just travel down to resting on your knees, lifting your shoulders up, rolling them back and down the back body. Draw that head back so that your ears are over your shoulders and you're lengthening through that cervical spine. Draw that belly button back to the spine, lifting up through the pelvic floor gently, sinking down into your sit bones. And notice what's happening in your legs. If there's any holding, what would it feel like to just allow them to soften and allow the quads, the femurs to kind of roll open and the knees to drop down and to just sit down into easy pose. And notice your breath. We have one more person joining us, so just keep your eyes closed and just stay present within yourself. Nowhere to go, nothing to do, just allowing the observation of what's happening here and now. So as you're breathing in and out through your nose, notice where that air is going. Notice where it's not going. And if there's any tension anywhere in the body and you need to wiggle through it, wiggle through it. Once you get an easy pose, it's not necessarily a static pose. Sometimes you have to kind of gently ease into the posture. Likewise with any other posture that we have, still focusing on our breath, noticing if it's shallow or deep. And then placing the hand between the breastbone and your belly button and the other hand between your belly button and the pubic bone. I'm going to invite you to begin to fill at the bottom of the lungs. So by inhaling through the belly, allowing it to come out, drawing the air in and filling to the center of the lungs and filling to the top of the lungs. Growing tall as you do that, and then exhaling from the top to the center and down. Keeping that nice long spine as you do so. So inhaling, filling to the bottom, the center, all the way to the top. And exhaling from the top to the center, all the way down, drawing that belly button to the spine. So even though the pelvic floor is engaged, that rectus abdominis, that belly muscle has the space to expand as you inhale. That diaphragm draws the air into the lungs. And it has the ability to press the air out of the lungs as you contract the belly back in. So this within itself is a great exercise just for the abdomen, the belly. Inhaling, inhaling, inhaling. Exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. Now invite the Ujjayi breath in. The Ujjayi breath is the ocean sounding the breath. This is all happening through the nose. Sometimes you'll hear me breathe in and out of my mouth, mostly because I want you all in Zoom world to hear me. Out in technology world, I want you to be able to hear my breath, how I'm breathing. And even though the Ujjayi breath sounds loud in your ears, it's not necessarily audible to other people. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. So create that ocean sound. Really imagine It's a really nice imagination to be at the beach, listening to the waves of the breath. So keeping with the same Ujjayi breath, let your hands fall back to your knees. Continue the belly, breathing clear into the belly so that you can get a sense of what it feels like to breathe without your hands there. Notice what's happening in the mind. Maybe the mind has been trained well and you're following your breath. If the mind is overthinking what's happening, invite it to count the breaths. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Or it can watch the breath. However your monkey likes to entertain. Some thinking minds are auditory. They like to listen to the breath. Some are visual. They like to watch the breath. Sometimes it's tactile. They like to feel the breath. This is really useful information. Notice how your mind operates and follow the breath. Three more, remembering to invite Ujjayi into your 3-part breath. Durga breath. On the next inhale, inhaling the hands up overhead, reaching up high, lengthening through the arms. Feel the muscles grab around the bones of the arms and then draw those shoulders down your back. There you go. So without losing the length in the arms, draw those shoulder blades down the back. That's a really hard movement because the mind wants to lift the shoulders to hold the arms up. But the energy of the body will actually do that, staying with your breath, keeping the Ujjayi breath, inhaling long, exhaling. Inhaling through those fingertips, exhaling, headed to the right. Now let that arm come down, palm facing up. Spin that shoulder back and then lengthen between the shoulder and the hip. Rather than it being a lengthening through the arm, see if you can get a sense of this part of your body right underneath the shoulder blade and underneath the armpit lifting up. And you'll feel all those ribs begin to expand and open. Breathe into it. Your air will fill in the sense that the left lung will feel deeper because it's expanded. Breathing into it. Excellent. Inhaling, coming back to center. One long inhale, exhale here. Feel the difference in your lungs. Feel the difference in your rib cage. Inhaling through those fingertips again. Exhaling, headed the other direction. So if you went to the right, go to the left. Again, as if you're lifting through that shoulder blade, the axillary, which is the armpit, and the hip. Create space in the long side of the body. Breathe into that right lung. Now the right lung is larger than the left lung. So imagine that you can feel it more deeply. Inhaling, exhaling. Excellent. Inhaling, coming back to center. Inhale through those fingertips. Feel those arm muscles grip the bones of the arm. As if we're creating a nice tight sleeve around the bones of the arm. Dropping out of your shoulders. Inhaling long through the fingertips. Exhaling, twisting to the right. Make sure that pelvic floor is engaged. Dropping out of your shoulders. Encouraging with both hands to twist into this. Again, you're going to have more space to begin with in that left lung. Breathe into it. Notice how when there's more space in the left lung, because the lung on the left side encompasses the heart, it is not quite as large as the right lung, but still has great capacity. Fill it up. Breathe deeply. On the exhale, twist a little deeper. Continue to grow long through your crown. Inhale long, exhale twist. Dropping out of the shoulders. If they're creeping up, let them fall down. Inhaling those arms up, slowly coming back to center. Gripping around those arm bones, reaching to the ceiling. Feel the difference right side to left side. Just take a pause here. Inhaling through those fingertips, exhaling, headed the other direction, all the way to the left. Opening that right lung. Again, notice what's happening in the lung through that heart space. Inhale through the crown of your head. Exhale, looking over your shoulder. Make sure you don't lose this to the back hand. Make sure you're staying upright, long in the spine. Inhaling through the crown. Exhaling, twisting a little bit deeper. Inhaling through the crown. Exhaling, looking a little farther over your shoulder. Notice where the release comes in your body. Excellent. Inhaling, hands come back overhead, reaching up to the sky, nice and strong, dropping out of the shoulders. Inhale, bringing that nice long body. Exhaling, drawing the belly button in. Inhaling, feeling how that spine is long and the ribs are open, and exhaling the hands down. All the way. We're going to move right into tabletop here. So moving out of seated pose. Take a minute to wiggle around, give your body some space to come into tabletop. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Wiggle through the hips. Hip is talking to me this morning, so I'm going to bring some breath to it. Lengthening through the crown of your head. Spinning the eyes of the elbows forward. Tailbone is down. The belly is lifting to the spine to take the arch out of your back, the drop out of your back. Take a nice long inhale here. Feel it. What does it feel like to be in tabletop? Now begin your movement, inhaling down into cow. Looking up. Tipping that tailbone up. Long inhale. Exhaling into cat. Inhaling, bringing that Durga breath, that 3-part breath into your cat and your cow. Find your rhythm. We're going to do a few of these. I'm going to grow quiet. You find your own space. Find your own rhythm. Three more. Inhaling, exhaling. Follow your Durga breath. Notice if on the exhale, as you exhale into cat, if you can make it a little deeper, just a little bit. And then inhale. See if you can inhale just a little bit more air. Sip it in. And exhale it. All the way. And inhaling, coming right back to center. Find your tabletop. Square those hips up. Inhale, pour into the left side of your leg, lengthening that right leg out. And then reaching through that left arm. Find the balance here. And then we're going to move with it. Draw it in on the exhale. Exhale it in. Inhale it out. Add some ha's. Inhale. Ha. 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 3 more. Ha. 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 Lengthen it out. Find your balance. Feel the heat. Bring that left arm down. Keep that right knee up. Balance out the hip. I have a tendency to want to roll out of it because my core goes on vacation. So engage your core, flatten that out, point that toe, and draw that heel in and flex it. Lift it to the heel to the ceiling. Feel the heat. Breathe into it. And exhale it down. Let's take a minute, find our tabletop, go long in the crown, and then drop into cow. Bringing Durga breath back in, 3-part breath. And exhaling it out. And inhaling it in. Feel how the energy moves. It will move a little differently when we've opened the opposite side channels. Good. Exhaling it all the way out. Inhaling long through the crown, pouring into that right knee, lengthening through the left knee. Square off those hips. Notice if this side's different. Lengthen through the right arm. I notice that this side is really different. Point that toe, point that finger. Find your balance. Breathe into it. And let's bring the elbow to the knee. And then we're going to add some ha breaths. Ha. 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 3 more. Ha. 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 Last one. Bring it out. Bring that right hand back down. Square off the hips. Notice where your body's gone. I've gone clear right. Balance it out. Flex that foot. Bring that heel in. Lift it to the ceiling. And lower it down. Open those heels. Open the knees wide. Bring the heels together and sink all the way back. All the way back. Let the belly drop to the floor. Reach those hands out far, far, far. Breathe into it. Walk those fingers out a little bit farther. Inhaling, rising up, coming onto your knees. And this is easier to do facing the long side of your mat where we're headed. First, we're going to start in camel. So bringing your hands up out in front of you, palms facing together, flatten them, bring them around, and you can place them fingertips down if this is easier, or if you want to open the wrists some more, you can go fingertips up. The important thing is that you're dropping out of that tailbone. So a lot of times what will happen here is you'll get an anterior tilt that will actually compromise the low back. So engage that pelvic floor and drop that tailbone down, okay? So I'm gonna go palms down. This morning, my elbows are gonna work together. So imagine that I'm coming behind you and taking a hold of your elbows and drawing them together and inviting them down. So the shoulder blades go down your back. Pull that belly button into the spine, lift up through the pelvic floor, grow long in your crown. So if I have a tendency to carry my head forward, that's an old injury. I have to think about drawing my hairs back over my shoulders and up through the crown. This is our starting point. Breathe into it. Make a cellular memory. What does it feel like in your body? Grow up, long through the crown on the inhale, and exhale, leading with your quads, your thighs, as if you're going to press forward and touch the wall. That's the movement. Now, once you have that movement happening, grow up through your crown and come back. Okay, right here, camel. Holding it, but breathing. I'm going to just take a quick look at those who I can see. Beautiful, excellent. Growing long, softening in the shoulders. Yeah, there you go, good. Looks good. And it's okay to lift through the crown as long as you're not hyperextending the neck. So a hyperextension of the neck creates a kind of a crunching in the back of your cervical vertebrae, the back of your neck. So just be mindful of that as you're in this posture. Breathing into it. This is a deep heart opener. So if you begin to feel some trembling, if you begin to feel some discomfort, breathe into it. Breathe into it. Find your breath. Excellent. On the next inhale, we're going to inhale drawing up, and we're going to fold straight over our knees. Don't take them anywhere. You can sit back into child as long as you keep your knees together. Forehead comes to the floor. Be mindful of any knee injuries as to how deep into this posture you go. So if you can sink clear back onto your heels, mine are kind of far away, but if you can sink back into your heels, that's awesome. Do that. Let this really fold into yourself. So it's a beautiful experience to open your heart and then fold into the internal journey of what that heart opener has to offer. Breathing into it. Heart openers are a beautiful experience, especially if you have anything of the heart that needs to be looked at. And then always fold into yourself. We oftentimes in life forget to listen to our own self. What is it we truly need? Inhaling, coming back up, preparing for Uttasana. Now, we're going to take this a next level deeper if it's available to you. Curl your toes under. Curl the toes under so that your heels are up higher. Now, I may or may not be able to do this because of my knee, but I'm going to do my best. So inhaling, hands come up, turning them around, bringing them back. Whatever hand position works for you, draw those elbows together. Inhaling, lifting tall through the crown, working through the quads first. So you're going to really feel this in the front of your legs. Working back. Now, I appreciate when we go for the feet, we don't just drop straight back into them. We're going to take the left hand up and circle it around so we can open the front body. And then set your hand on your heel. Inhaling, lifting that right hand up, circling it around, and finding that other heel. And if you don't find the heels, that's okay. You can leave your hand on the back. Now, if you find this to be very simple, flatten your toes. It'll lower you deeper into it. Not happening in this body. I'm not even going to show you today. Lift through the heart. Keep long in the crown. Notice I'm not tipping my chin to the ceiling, but I'm kind of giving it a little bit of a tuck so I can lengthen through the crown of my head. Breathing into it. I'm going to breathe a couple of times with you. Inhaling out of it the same way. Right hand comes up. Left hand comes up. Exhaling, releasing the feet and bowing into yourself. That is a beautiful heart opener. Deep into your own journey. Drop into your child. Drop into yourself. Excellent. On the next inhale, we're going to rise back up. We're going to do this one more time. I'm going to give it a go with my feet flat. I'm not sure I can do it, but you know what? We don't know unless we first try. Give it a shot. Do your best. So, inhaling your hands up, growing long in your crown. Shoulders are down. Circling them around and back. So we're doing this beautiful dynamic move in our shoulders also. I'm also going to allow my fingertips to attempt to go up instead of down because my body is beginning to open. So I'm feeling this in my low back. That tells me I need to engage my core a little bit stronger. Dropping, you can kind of feel your tailbone slide down to the floor. Inhaling, lifting through the heart, pressing through those quads. Going back. Inhaling the left hand up and over. And I find my heel. I can on the left side. Inhaling up and over. Can I find it on the right side? Nope. So I'm coming back to my toes. Exploration. Explore what your body can do. And if this is causing you pain, come out of it. No forcing, only allowing, breathing into it. Continue to work through those quads. Make sure it's working through those thigh muscles. Breathing into it. Inhaling, lifting out of the left hand first, and then the right hand. It's going to feel backwards. Release those feet. Exhaling, bowing down. This time, open your knees. Open those knees. Come all the way to the floor. Stack your hands underneath that third eye. Let that forehead press into the back of the hands. And let this really be about softening into child. Let it open. Finding that Durga breath. 3-part breath. Slow it down again. We've got the heat going. We're going to cool it down just for a second. Give yourself your body a break. Excellent. Inhaling, coming back up onto your knees. Hands come down beside you, bringing them onto your waist right here. Engage that core, reach out through the right foot. So I imagine that toes down creates a nice balance, stability. Now take a look down and see where your leg is. If it's out here in front of you like this, see if you can walk it back to be a little bit in line, more in line with your hips. Now, roll the knee forward. In fact, if you want to lift through the toes so it makes it easier, roll it forward, roll it back. Okay, roll it forward. And be mindful of what your experience is. Some people will be able to roll farther than others, but this is a round joint. The hip is a round joint. And then flatten that foot down and open up, grow long in the crown, inhaling the hands up. And we're gonna first head to the leg, open up that left side body, breathe into it. And then we're gonna grow back tall, nice and long. And then we're gonna exhale, hand comes right down underneath the shoulder. So if you land with your hand further away, then bring it in, adjust it in. So first it's a long line of energy from ceiling to floor. So this is a little bit like triangle, but it's on the floor, so it's not quite as dramatic. Engage that core, feel the long line of energy from your toe to the crown of your head. Notice where your head is. If your head's clear forward, what would it feel like to pull it back, tip the chin, and open through the crown? Now, it doesn't matter where you look. You can look forward, you can look at the floor, you can look up and over. So on the next inhale, we're gonna inhale and lengthen through that arm all the way over the head. Long line of energy from fingertips to toe tips. Now, if you're feeling strong or you wanna challenge, lift that foot off the floor. Breathe into it. Find your balance. Core is strong. Five more breaths, you can do it. What would it feel like to point your toes? Two more breaths. And last one, lower the foot down. Bring the arm back to the ceiling. Right here, turn the palm facing behind you and drop that arm back behind you, looping it around, opening that shoulder. Look to the ceiling if you can. Beautiful work. 3 more breaths. Excellent. Inhaling that hand up, lifting it back up, or if you have to cheat and help yourself. Coming back to center. So that wasn't a very graceful removal out of that thing, but in my mind, it was beautiful. So take a second here. Give yourself any movement. Your wrist might need some movement. When you bear your weight like that, if you need a child pose, go to child's pose. And if not, if you're ready, come right back to your knees. Pour into that other knee, the left knee, I think. Ah, yes, and then sometimes the hip will pop and it feels delicious. So again, my right leg is out. I think that's where everybody is, right leg out. Toes are up, give it some space. Roll through that hip. So a lot of things happen through here. We have deep rotators. We have hamstring attachments. We've got all the groin muscles that attach into the pubic bone. And if you're wobbling all over the place, invite that pelvic floor in to support you, to be stable. And then coming back to center, Dropping out into the toes, pointing those toes long. Growing up nice and tall through the crown. So really feel the body come up and lift those arms up. Exhale first towards the leg. You can drop your hand. You can keep it tall. It doesn't matter. Inhaling, growing long in the crown. Exhaling, headed all the way down. All the way down. Make sure that hand is directly under your shoulder. Not behind it, not before it. Point that toe. Lift through those fingertips. Long line of energy. Find where your head can lengthen through the crown the best. Make sure and draw those ears back over your shoulders. Because if you've got your head dropped like this, puts a lot of strain on the neck. Bring it back. Find that long line of energy. Breathe into it. Inhale through those fingertips. Exhale, bringing it all the way up and over the ear. Breathe into it. Feel the long line of energy. Feel that energy. Breathe into it. Invite Durga breath back into this. Invite your Ujjayi breath into this. Inhale, lift that foot up. Engage that core. Feel the strength through the center of your body supporting you. If it's with you, stay there. If it's not with you, put your foot back down. It's okay. Breathe into it. Five more breaths. Count them out. No panting. Just nice, slow breathing. Two more. Last one. You can do it. Lower that foot down. Inhale. Lift that arm up. Spin the hand around. Bring that shoulder behind you. Open that heart space. Spin out of it. Look to the ceiling if you can. Tip that chin, but bring those ears back over your shoulder. Feel the twist. Excellent. Inhaling, bringing that hand back up, lifting up, drawing up. That's much. Obviously, my right side is stronger than my left side. Drop those hands down. Beautiful. Circle them around. Whew, that was awesome. So I feel a beautiful child's pose coming on. So if you want to turn on your mat so that you're on your mat, dropping back into child's pose. Whatever feels good in child's pose. Sometimes it feels good to roll over your legs. Sometimes it feels good to open the knees and drop clear to the floor. Inhaling, coming up, we're going to find our way into Dandasana, staff pose. So apparently this class has no standing in it. That's okay. Our feet need a break sometimes. So coming into staff pose, finding those sit bones. If you have any extra flesh around those sit bones, move it out of the way so you can sit solid. Grow up nice and tall. This is a great place for your belt or your strap. You can bend your knees and hook that strap around the balls of your feet. Okay, so we still want our feet to be hip distance apart. So this can sometimes be an illusion. The hips is not this part. It's not the fleshy part. It's the bone. So if you feel right here, our hip point is about here. And our knees should be right underneath it. And then our second toe underneath that. Draw those heels in. Engage the quads, drop out of the shoulders, and grow long in your spine. Dandasana, draw those toes in. So this right here is the foundation voice. Breathe, everybody. So, as much as everybody loves reverse triangle, or maybe not so much, I love this as much as reverse triangle. So what that tells me is that when there's something challenging, rather than not facing it, look it in the eye and breathe into it. You don't have to do anything with the challenge, just be present with it. And notice what begins to happen in the body as you're present with what is in your mind challenging. The body will begin to open to the resistance and allow it to fade away. Continue breathing, continuing to bring your breath to the experience. At this point, we've gone nowhere except holding statically before this beautiful posture. This is mountain pose seated. It's a Dandasana instead of Tadasana. So grow long through the crown, nice long inhale, leading with your heart that we've opened, heading forward. So if you're leading with your forehead, your nose, or your chin, bring it back. Let your heart be the leader. Notice the depth of which you can go in this. Now, some of you are going to have super open, stretchy hamstrings with little resistance, and you might be able to fold all the way over. Please feel free to do that. This body has a little more resistance, and I'm breathing into it. I invite you all to do the same. When you find that point of resistance where you can go no more farther forward, hang out there. Notice it. Breathe into it. Allow it to be there. Challenge and resistance is not bad. It's okay. It's there to teach us. The question is, are we willing to learn from it? Notice the undulation that happens on the inhale and the exhale. You might inhale, draw out a little bit, exhale, sink forward a little bit. Inhale, draw out of it a little bit, exhale, sink forward. Find your breath. Invite that ujjayi in. Three more breaths. That was 4. Sink it a little forward each time. Beginning to slow down. Inhaling, coming back up. Keeping those feet engaged. Keeping that strap or belt or tie engaged. Breathing into it, growing tall. Notice how it's different. Inhaling long through the crown, exhaling, leading with the heart. Notice if you can go deeper this time. Notice if you can allow the thinking mind to get out of the way. The thinking mind is actually what causes our resistance. Believe it or not, it's the thinking mind that creates the tension in our muscles. It's an unconscious holding. Just notice it. What micro movement can you do to change and deepen this posture, to deepen your own experience, your experience on your mat? What can you breathe into on your mat that you can breathe into in life and step forward into? Excellent. Inhaling, coming back up. This time setting the strap down, bringing the right knee in, drawing up nice and tall next to that knee. And then in your own beautiful way, I like to invite my tissue around my middle to come with me first and then twist into this. Sometimes the arm wraps the leg. Sometimes it places on the other side of the leg. Bringing that right arm all around behind you and lifting up, growing tall. Inviting this twist to open through the gluteus medius. That is a muscle that's right on the back of your hip. It's a powerful stability muscle. And I'm finding that when it's tight, everything is tight. Breathe into it. Breathe out of it. Excellent. Twisting back around, coming back to center, lengthening through that right leg, picking that strap up again. Finding Dandasana. Inhaling, exhaling, drawing forward. What's different? What's different in this movement forward? Do you have more space? Is your right leg more open? Is your left leg more open? Dropping out of your shoulders, lengthening through your crown. Slight tip in the chin to open the back of the neck. So many of us are looking for what's next. What if we were just here now, being present? Inhaling, drawing up. Exhaling, letting that strap fall. Inhaling, drawing in the left knee. Drawing up nice and tall. Exhaling. Inhaling, finding your way into the twist. Breathing into it. Bringing that left hand behind you. Encouraging the twist. Lengthening through the crown. Inhale. Exhale. Feel the wringing out, not only in the spines, but when we do a twist in this fashion, we're also massaging the internal organs of the belly. Feel the wringing out, the creating space for new. Keep breathing, find your breath. Growing long through your crown, drawing back through the shoulders. There you go. Inhaling, turning that head back to center, bringing the shoulders, twisting out of it, coming back into Dandasana. One more time. I love that when we twist and then return to Dandasana, grow up nice and tall, find our seated mountain pose. Exhale, head forward. I always have so much more space to dive into Dandasana, leading with your heart. And if you have the space to let go of your strap and reach your toes, do that. If you don't, it's okay. Just notice, breathing into it. Finding your breath, dropping in, following your Ujjayi breath. Three more breaths, you can do it. Stay with it. Stay present in your forward fold. Excellent. Inhaling, lifting those hands up and down beside you. Now, be very mindful for this next move. You might need to bend your knees to do it. If you have the space to do it with your legs straight, that's great. Engage your core and then begin to roll back. I have to do a slight bend in my knees. Roll yourself back one vertebrae at a time, all the way back. Hands overhead. Reach it up, reach it up. Reach it up. So we've been in a forward fold. We're gonna open that forward fold up, exhale it out. Walk those feet in. If you have a block, a pillow, a little ball, anything that would work to place between your knees, we're gonna prepare for a bridge. Go ahead and grab that and invite that into your practice, bringing those hands down, scooping the shoulder blades underneath. Walk the feet in one more little teeny step if you can. Pick your toes up, spread them out, set them down. Feel the platform you've created with your feet. Inhale, engage that core, just a slight pulling in. Exhaling, release it out. Inhale, bring it in, tip a little higher. Exhale, release it out. Notice the muscles it's inviting into play in the legs, in the knees, in the groin, everywhere. Inhale, draw it in, begin to press through the feet. See if you can let those gluteal muscles go as you lift through your feet. When you get to the point where you can lift no higher without the glutes being engaged, hang out there for a few breaths. So everything in the hips are soft. The knees are engaged. That's engaging the groin muscles, the adductors. Breathing into it, finding your breath. On the next inhale, we're going to lift a little higher, inviting those glutes in to encourage that pelvis to lift a little higher. Notice what's changing in the knees. Notice what's changing in the shoulders. Lengthen through that crown of your head. Might have to get a little tuck in the chin. No looking anywhere except the ceiling, or close your eyes. That's even better. Lifting a little higher on the exhale. Inhaling, exhaling, full expression. As you meet your full expression of bridge, tap into that body wisdom. Find your breath, lock in, and when the body says move to meditation and motion, follow it. Staying with your breath, following what your body's asking for. That's meditation in motion. It's not looking at your neighbor or me. It's following your own experience. Beautifully performed with your breath, without the thinking mind, really tapping into the movements of the body. No wrong way to do it. The body will not injure when it's in the lead. Remembering to breathe. Remembering to allow the experience. We're going to have about 5 more breaths. Nice, slow, deep breaths of meditation in motion. And as you begin to come out of meditation and motion, the body has slowed down quite a bit. You can invite the body into Shavasana, or if there's any last posture that I didn't do today that you would like to experience, feel free. If you need a twist, you can go there. Just notice, what does your body need? And it seems that the energy is taking us to Shavasana, which is a beautiful posture. It's also the most important posture of the day because it integrates everything that we've done. So feel that body be fully supported by the earth. Allow your palms to fly open to the sky as if you're receiving whatever is being offered today. And your eyes grow heavy as the mind slips away, not here, not there. Be thankful. Be thankful that you don't already have everything you desire. If you did, what would there be to look forward to? Be thankful when you don't know something, for it gives you the opportunity to learn. Be thankful for difficult times. During these times, you grow. Be thankful for your limitations, for they give you opportunities for improvement. Be thankful for each new challenge, because it will build your strength and character. Be thankful for your mistakes. They will teach you valuable lessons. Be thankful when you're tired and weary, because it means you made a difference. It's easy to be thankful for the good things. A life of rich fulfillment comes to those who are also grateful for the setbacks. Gratitude can turn a negative into a positive. Find a way to be grateful for your troubles, and they can become your blessing. Take a nice deep breath in. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And as you're ready, you can roll to your side. Coming back to now. Do this in your own time, or you can certainly stay in Shavasana at home. Namaste.
Namaste.